Maya Moore was a star WNBA player at the height of her career, and she left it to devote herself to righting an injustice, working to free an innocent man, Johnathan Irons, from prison. After 23 years, Johnathan was finally vindicated and free. Maya was there waiting for him to greet him at the prison's doors. During that time, their friendship turned into love, and now into marriage, and now into parenthood. And they tell their story in the perfectly titled book, Love and Justice, a story of triumph on two different courts. Maya Moore Irons and Johnathan Irons. I have to keep calling you Maya Moore Irons. Yes. But it's so wonderful to see you again. I had to pull out the hanky as I was talking to you in the commercial break, because it is beautifully written. And it's so powerful how, especially the beginning, when you alternate chapters in each of your voices, and to see where you were in your life, You were, basketball phenom, and then Johnathan, wrongly convicted, imprisoned at the age of 16. You went there. Was it difficult for you, Johnathan, to relive that time?
Absolutely. It was very traumatic, and I had to go to my counselor to kind of talk through. But like the more and more I went through and read it, the more it helped me get through it, and it just relived it, because I was able to flip a switch and say, I'm not there anymore. I'm past that. I'm free.
And did you have to do that and just kind of remind yourself, because you really described what it was like behind those walls?
Like there were times as I wrote and continued to talk about it, about our book and our story, that I felt like I was in the moment, and I would have to see a picture or reach out and feel Maya, or just realize that I'm free. I had to continually remind myself that.
Yeah, because you were sentenced, how many years?
To 65, actually.
65, and served 23 of those.
23 and a half.
23, oh yes, I know. I know.
All that matters.
I know it all matters to you. Maya Moore Irons, I'm telling you what, you were on his team before. You were reading about him as much as you knew. How difficult was it for you to read? And did you learn some things that you hadn't known, that he had kept from you?
Yeah, I think because our story happened over so many years, I've known Johnathan for almost 15 years, reading it all together was extremely overwhelming. When we're in the journey, in the fight, you're just trying to take it one day at a time, but to read it all together, it just really made me appreciate and be even more inspired by Johnathan's life, and by how God put this all together, of where I was coming from in my life and where he was coming from in his life, and just how it wove together. It still just blows my mind.
And you do it so well in the book, and you can kind of see his work, his hands in all of this. I've been around you a handful of times. I don't sense anger. And you would think, especially reading exactly what you went through, what are your emotions? How have you been able to channel that and not have that type of anger that most people would have?
Well, I lost a lot, and the anger and the pain is there, but I choose every day to live being grateful for each day that I have, because I'm not promised tomorrow. Like any day, we could pass on, or something could happen. I could still be in prison, but I'm free, and I want to live in that, and rather than trying to chase what I lost and what I don't have, and focus on what I do have, which is beautiful and wonderful. I'm married, I have a son. It's like, oh my God.
I know, and I love seeing the footage when you just dropped to your knees when he was finally coming out, because it took a long time, even though you had the evidence and all that. What have you all learned from, because you fell in love. You started off as true friends. As you said, you've known each other for 15 years. Let me start with you, John. What did you learn once you could all be together, once you both could be together? What did you learn about her?
The great and mighty Maya Moore is a sweet, loving, and nurturing person who's my best friend in the moment, and shows up and is present.
I learned how talented he is. It's one thing to talk on the phone, help him fight for justice, see how of a brilliant legal mind he is, but he's also a great gatherer of people, team builder, business starter, father, friend. I mean, leader, shepherd, like his shepherd's heart for his people. It's just been so beautiful to watch, because I also have a shepherd's heart.
You do.
But to know I don't have to shepherd everything. You know, sometimes as women we feel like, oh, we got to do it all. But it's like, no, I can rest because I have a partner. And that rest is what I've been really sweetly surprised by.
And now parenthood.
Oh boy.
Oh, come on, JJ. JJ, what is that like to be a daddy?
Man, a blast every day. I'm getting emotional thinking about it, man. There was a time I thought I would never have a child, but I got a beautiful, healthy, thriving son.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah.
I know you do, because you did not have that.
No.
Yeah, I know, and that's why you become so emotional.
Yeah.
And so you
I
want
didn't
to.
think I would have one because I was in prison. I thought that time had passed, and I had come to terms like I may be here forever. I may never have a child.
And then you've got this. He slobbers and everything. You
Oh
gotta
man, in your eyeball and everything. It's all puts his mouth on your nose.
And for you, Maya, to be a mom.
The joy. You hear it all the time of, you wait till you become a parent, and you're like, yeah. And then you become a parent, and you're like, okay, I get it. Just you'll do anything for this little human.
Yeah.
And the joy and the purpose of just raising him. It's just such a privilege, and our days are just so sweet because of him.
Yeah, and you had a good example with your mother. And I want folks to read the book, because that letter, Johnathan, that you wrote Maya's mother when you were in jail, woo, that's worth just picking up the book. But before we go, because every time I see you, okay, you know, people know you, UConn, you know, it's college basketball season. They remember all the championships that you won with Gina Auriemma. They remember Minnesota winning the WNBA championships, and just all that you have done. And to be at the height of your career and to put it on hold to help right a wrong. Where are you now with your basketball career?
Well, I think it is time to put a close to the pro basketball life. You know, I walked away 4 seasons ago, but I wanted to officially retire. This is such a sweet time for us and our family, and the work that we've done, I want to continue that in this next chapter. I want to continue to be present at home for my community, for my family, little baby, for Johnathan, but also doing work with Win with Justice, our nonprofit, to continue to raise awareness about prosecutorial reform and how we can have safer and healthier communities. So that's what I'm moving into, but
good for you.
Hanging it up.
Yeah, I know, but that other court that you're going to. Thank you both so very much. I want people to know that Love and Justice is available tomorrow. I think just like Maya and Johnathan, readers will ask themselves one of the most important questions they can after reading this book. Am I living out my purpose? They both are.